I remember the day it all started like it was yesterday, the dry heat of the Arizona sun beating down on the asphalt outside our Phoenix data center, making the air shimmer like a mirage. I'd been with Desert Tech Solutions for 14 years, pouring my sweat and soul into turning a ragtag startup into a rock-solid infrastructure powerhouse. We handled data for telecom giants across the Southwest, from Vegas casinos to LA streaming services. I was the one who kept the lights on, literally and figuratively. My name's Emily Hayes, and back then, I was the lead systems architect, the unsung hero who fixed the unfixable. That morning, I was knee-deep in the cold aisle of Rack 7, troubleshooting a faulty power distribution unit that was throwing off our uptime metrics. The hum of the fans was my white noise, a comforting rhythm after all these years. I'd bruised my elbow crawling under the raised floor to trace a cable, but that was par for the course. Then I heard the footsteps, Jack's familiar plodding gait, followed by the crisp click of dress shoes that screamed, business school grad. It was his son, Tyler, fresh from some Ivy League MBA program back east. Tyler let out a chuckle that echoed off the metal cages. Dad, this place looks like something out of an old Western flick, dusty servers instead of saloons. Ever thought about going full cloud? Modernize. He said cloud like it was a buzzword he'd just discovered, not the backbone of half our operations. I slid out from under the rack, wiping grease from my hands, and met Jack's eyes. He looked away first, a flicker of guilt crossing his weathered face. Jack Thompson, the founder, had built Desert Tech from a garage in Tucson back in the day. We'd shared late-night burgers over blueprints, him trusting my gut on everything from failover protocols to vendor negotiations. But lately, things had shifted. Jack was talking retirement, and Tyler was being groomed as the heir apparent. I'd seen the signs, my budget requests for hardware upgrades getting stalled, while marketing got a fat injection for rebranding. Then came the investor tours, where I wasn't even looped in. I caught wind of it from security cams after hours, Tyler strutting around, claiming credit for the redundant arrays I'd designed during a brutal heatwave blackout in 2012. I documented it all, quietly, in my personal logs. Not out of spite, but habit. In this line of work, you learn to cover your bases. Jack cleared his throat as I stood up. Emily, got a sec? We stepped into the break room, the AC blasting like a desert wind. He fidgeted with his coffee mug, the one I'd gotten him years ago with Data Boss etched on it. We're making some changes. Tyler's stepping up, time for fresh blood. You'll shift to compliance oversight.
Easier pace.
More reports. Less hands-on. His words hung there, heavy as the monsoon clouds that rolled in every summer. I felt a punch to the gut, but I kept my cool. So, you're sidelining me? After everything? Jack sighed, rubbing his temples. It's not like that. You've been the rock here.
Eminência.
But Tyler's got ideas, cloud integration.
IOPS.
You'll train him. Keep things smooth. Train him? The kid who'd once rebooted a live server during peak hours because the lights were blinking funny. I'd fixed that mess without a word.
But now?
This wasn't a handoff. It was a handover, wrapped in family loyalty. I nodded, biting back the storm inside. All right. But as I walked back to my console, I pulled up my contract files. Buried in the fine print was Clause 8.2c, inked after that 2012 blackout when I'd single-handedly restored our grids with parts scavenged from my own Jeep. It was a key personnel safeguard. If I was reassigned without an equivalent tech role, it triggered accelerated equity vesting and severance, valued now at over $6 million, thanks to years of deferred comp and stock grants. It was legal, ironclad, and about to become very relevant. That night, under the starry Sedona sky at my ranch-style home, I sipped a cold beer and compiled my exit packet. Not dramatic, just precise. System inventories.
Vendeur contact.
Escalation trees. I printed copies. Because out here in the West, paper still means something tangible. I wasn't mad. I was methodical. Clarity hits harder than fury. The next day, Tyler sauntered in with a Vendi latte and a grin. Ready to pass the torch. Emily, I was already packing my toolkit.
No.
I'm out. I handed him the folder. Everything you need is here. Touch what you don't understand at your own risk. Jack burst in, face flushed.
Whoa.
Hold your horses. We can talk this out. But I looked him square. You chose family over foundation. Now deal with the fallout. I walked out past the humming racks I'd babed through dust storms and power surges. Badge handed to the front desk with a simple adios. By noon, my phone buzzed. Desert Tech's legal team. I let it ring, time-stamping their panic. They wanted to clarify the clause. But under Arizona labor laws and our contract, it was crystal. No equivalent role meant full payout. No ifs or buts. I'd consulted my attorney,
Sara Ruiz.
a sharp Phoenix litigator, the night before. It's airtight, she'd said. They'll squirm, but they'll pay. The calls kept coming, voicemails piling up like tumbleweeds in a windstorm. Tyler's first email was frantic. Emily, we need to discuss equivalency. Maybe we can reframe the role? I forwarded it to Sarah, who shot back a cease and desist on personal outreach.
Meanwhile,
I drove out to the Grand Canyon rim for some air, the vast red rocks reminding me how small corporate games really are. But back home, the reality hit Desert Tech hard. Our SLAs with major clients like Southwest Telecom and VegasNet had riders I'd negotiated years ago. They named me as key personnel for infrastructure integrity.
Nome?
Contracts open for review, with potential penalties for downtime risks. Southwest fired off a notice first. Confirm Emily Hayes' continued oversight, or we invoke reassessment under Clause 5.1. VegasNet was blunter. Without her, we're out. No debate on continuity. Jack must have been sweating bullets. Those deals were the lifeblood of the company. Inside Desert Tech, chaos brewed. I heard from an old ops buddy. Off the record, Tyler was scrambling, calling emergency meetings, but fumbling basics like VLEN setups. He tried to override a failover script I'd written, nearly causing a cascade failure. Finance modeled the hit, $6.1 million payout, plus client churn could top $10 mil in lost revenue. They froze executive perks, citing strategic obligations. Tyler's vision was crumbling faster than a dry riverbed. Sarah sent the demand letter, payout within 10 business days, or arbitration with triple penalties per the clause. It was all above board. No gray areas. California and Arizona courts love clear contracts like this. Day 3.
Jack my lit personale.
Let's grab coffee. We undervalued you. Maybe a consultant gig? I didn't bite. Let the clock tick. By day 4, Tyler showed up at my door, looking like a lost tourist in the desert heat. Emily, please, just a quick chat. Dad's freaking out. His voice cracked through the intercom. I watched from inside, heart tugging a bit. He was just a kid thrown into deep water. But I stayed silent. This was their mess. On day 5, Jack called. Voicemail shaky. I thought you needed a break.
Eminencia.
Didn't realize it'd blow up like this.
Can we make it right? No, sorry.
Just excuses. but something shifted in me. Revenge felt hollow. I'd built my career on fixing problems, not creating them. Maybe there was a humane way out, a lesson in valuing people over nepotism.
Meanwhile,
I wasn't sitting idle. I'd accepted an offer from Horizon Networks, a lean outfit in San Diego, as senior infrastructure lead.
no frills.
Just respect. Emily, design it your way. We trust your track record. My first day, the CEO asked about my preferred protocols, not PowerPoints. It felt like breathing fresh ocean air after years in the dust. Back at Desert Tech, the pressure mounted. A third client paused renewals, citing technical continuity concerns. Tyler's LinkedIn went quiet. Rumors said he was exploring options. Jack's memo to staff, temporary leadership adjustments amid transitions. Code 4. We're in hot water. Sarah advised holding firm. But I started thinking bigger. What if instead of full scorched earth, we negotiated? Teach them without destroying them. I mulled it over during a hike in the Superstition Mountains. The rugged trails mirroring my path. Tough, but leading somewhere better. As the deadline loomed, the unraveling accelerated. Desert Tech's vendors started balking. My signatures were still required on compliance certs. Per federal data regs like HIPAA for our health tech tie-ins. Tyler tried rerouting, but half bounced back, pending Hayes' approval. It wasn't sabotage, it was smart design. I'd layered in safeguards to prevent cowboy moves. Sarah got a call from their counsel. Can we discuss settlement?
They met virtually.
Me in my San Diego office, overlooking the Pacific. Jack joined, looking haggard. Emily, this clause. It's killing us. Clients are jumping ship. Tyler lurked in the background. Mute. I leaned in. You built this by undervaluing experience. But I'm not here to bury you. We hashed it out. I'd waive the triple penalty and take a reduced payout, $4.5 million, if they reinstated equivalent roles for veteran staff and committed to merit-based promotions. No nepotism clauses in future contracts. It was humane, saved the company, but enforced change. Jack nodded wearily.
Deal. And I'm sorry.
Truly. The agreement was signed under Arizona law, with arbitration oversight.
Clean.
Legal.
No loopholes.
Tyler stepped aside to a junior role, learning the ropes properly. I even agreed to a 1-week consult, remote, to stabilize systems, charging fair market rate. At Horizon, my new team thrived. We migrated a major client seamlessly, my old trick shining. One evening, Jack texted, "Thanks for the grace. Company's turning around." I replied, "Value your people, they're the real infrastructure." But the story wasn't over. Whispers in the industry reached me, other firms auditing contracts, empowering key staff. My exit sparked a quiet revolution in Western tech hubs, from Phoenix to Seattle. Reflecting on it now, that demotion was a gift in disguise. It forced me to reclaim my worth, not through vengeance, but growth. The lesson? In the wild west of business, loyalty runs both ways, or it crumbles like sandstone. With the settlement inked, life settled into a new rhythm. The $4.5 million hit my account, enough for security, a down payment on a coastal property, and investments in STEM scholarships for women in tech. I didn't splurge out west. You learn to conserve resources. Instead, I focused on Horizon, where my input shaped a hybrid cloud system that boosted efficiency by 40%. Colleagues respected my stories from the trenches, not as war tales, but wisdom. Jack kept his word. Desert Tech revamped HR policies, promoting based on metrics, not bloodlines. Tyler messaged me months later. Emily, thanks for the consult notes. I'm actually learning now, sorry for being a jerk. I responded kindly. We all start somewhere. Keep at it. It felt good. Closing the loop without bitterness. One weekend, I drove back to Phoenix for a family reunion. My roots in the Southwest ran deep, like the ancient canyons. Stopping by an old diner, I ran into Jack. He looked lighter.
No suit.
Just jeans.
Ink.
Fancy meeting you here. We talked over pie, real talk. He admitted nepotism blinded him, thought family meant legacy. Forgot legacies built on trust. I shared how the experience humanized me. Pain teaches empathy. Now I mentor juniors properly. The encounter sparked an idea. I proposed a joint webinar on sustainable tech transitions, sharing our story anonymized. It went viral in industry circles, emphasizing humane handoffs over cutthroat moves. Attendees from Cali to Colorado praised the honesty. At home, watching the sunset paint the ocean gold, I realized the true win: personal growth. The drama taught me resilience, but the humane end brought peace. No more ghosts in the servers, just forward momentum. Years on, the ripple effects endure. Desert Tech stabilized, with Tyler now a competent ops manager, crediting my influence. Jack retired gracefully, volunteering at local tech incubators. I rose to CTO at Horizon, leading innovations that earned awards for ethical AI integration. Looking back, that shocking demotion wasn't the end, it was a pivot. The unexpected reckoning forced accountability, but the humane resolution delivered the real lesson: forgiveness fortifies more than revenge. In America's West, where frontiers are forged by grit and grace, value your builders, they hold the keys to tomorrow. And every time I debug a system under bright California skies, I smile. I didn't just survive, I thrived, teaching others along the way. That's the American dream. Rebooted.